Element 1, Earth Disposal 7-Gen program for Be developed will be mirroring Canada, as we should have very similar infrastructure and education levels with the appropriate engineering courses. Democratic developing countries will be invested in, and this investment for Developing Country Startup, or DCS tithe, will help pay for the Earth Disposal tax processing plants and programs. Developing countries will go through 2 phases. Phase 1 only includes the Earth Disposal tax investment from the tithe from the partnering countries. Once all the programming is up and running, developing countries with investments into middle-class jobs, full-time work with pensions and benefits, they will have moved a developing country to a developed country, and that is phase 2. These investments will give people a reason to stay and live in their countries instead of immigrating. These jobs will help slow the flow of illegal immigration while also giving job opportunities in the countries they immigrate to. Be developed, C developing countries. Earth Disposal Tax EDT 7-Gens Program Number 1. Women and Children's Health and Reproductive Care Clinics. Women and girls' access to reproductive care, birth control, including safe abortions, is non-negotiable. Since Roe was overturned in the United States, I have equalized the percentage of women's health with developing countries, as this ruling is going to kill or maim women and girls across America unnecessarily and impact their ability to participate in education and employment settings, while also taking away their ability to decide how many kids they want. And it is so funny how all of the burden and punishment are on the women or their care providers, while the men responsible for these pregnancies walk away with no responsibility. What women do with their bodies is no one's business but her and her care providers, not the government, not religious men, not anybody. Now, with the new administration being sworn in January 2025 with the goal of implementing Project 2025, it is even more important to stand by our non-negotiable criteria of equality for all, including bodily autonomy for all. A nationwide ban will have devastating impact on women and girls' human rights. We will invest in programs or businesses that provide sexual health care, including safe abortions. Such businesses we will invest in are called our Planned Parenthood. Money will also be used to help with transportation to other states to get this care. It is a violation of women and girls' rights to deny them autonomy over their bodies, but to also deny them the health care that they have consented to receive to prevent life change, disability, or death is criminal. In this article, a dramatic rise in pregnant women dying in Texas after the abortion ban, it explains that exclusive analysis finds the rate of maternal deaths in Texas increased 56% from 2019 to 2022, compared with just 11% nationwide during the same time period. Think about that. These are people, someone's daughter, sisters, wife, partner, mother, aunt. They are someone, and this is absolutely criminal to allow them to die unnecessarily. And this is not including the emotional, physical, and spiritual trauma that they will suffer the rest of their lives. The reason for equal investments was even before Roe was overturned, a minority woman was 3 or 4 times more likely to die in childbirth than their non-minority sisters, a rating of an outcome equal to a developing nation, and this should not be happening. The difference in the investments will be that in developing countries, they will have student residences built beside the medical clinics so that they can focus on training and not worry about meals and housing. The goal is to have medical clinics, but also mobile buses to provide care in rural areas to vulnerable women and children. The next Earth Disposal Tax program I will discuss is B, Developed Country, C, Developing Countries. Earth Disposal Tax, EDT, 7-Gens, Program Number 2, Clean Water Initiative, Desalination Plants, and Sanitation. Clean, safe, drinkable water is a priority for GGDI and 7-Gens, and there are 4 areas where there will be investments made into clean water. Access to clean, drinkable water is a human right and helps prevent communicable disease. We will build large desalination plants across our partnering countries to be able to have the ability to make large amounts of water at one time. Our seas and our oceans are rising, so this is a good place to build our system for access to safe, drinkable water. The next program I will briefly speak of is B, Developed Country, C, Developing Countries. Earth Disposal Tax, EDT, 7-Gens, Program Number 3, Stop Food Wastage, Affordable Healthy Foods, and a Pathway for compost. We need to come to terms that the current way industry is poisoning us with chemicals and unripened agriculture is causing a sick global world, and we need to change to one that is local and sustainable to all environmental and global changes. Also, the need to reduce our global transportation footprint around the world, trucking agriculture from across continents. It is time to grow what we can locally so that our food is as nutrient dense and chemical free as possible, but provides good paying middle class jobs while providing communities with affordable foods. This will enable us to only transport agricultural products native to other countries. We will also have a pathway designed so that all of our food and scraps have a place to go so that we can make our system as efficient and sustainable as possible. In order to stop food wastage, you need to have pathways for it to go through right until it becomes compost. At the top in this diagram, you will see the farm and orchard, harvest when ripe and ready for sale. This will improve the quality and nutrients of our food, impacting our long-term health. The produce will be sold to markets, restaurants, and grocers, and sold as a raw or cooked product to customers. It should be against the law to throw away leftover food in the landfill like France does, and we should be picking up twice a week or as many times as necessary from the individual businesses or food banks. The other destinations will be for food banks, daily pickup, such as for school food programs, compostable single-use items, and raw materials to be picked up for shelters to make healthy meals. Any leftover from these programs go to local farms for animal feed to help them with their costs, to get their costs down so that they can pass on that savings to the public. Later to be sent for composting to be sold locally to residents or donated to shelters or community gardens. To get rid of landfills, we need to ensure that every part of our garbage has a place to go, and food waste is a huge problem, but also we should not be throwing food away while we have people starving. The waste and consumption to keep our 1% rich while destroying our soil for future generations has to stop. In this article is more than 5 years old now. The world needs topsoil to grow 95% of its food, but it's rapidly disappearing. If we continue to degrade our soil at the rate we are now, the world could run out of topsoil in about 60 years, according to Maria Helena Semedo of the UN's Food and Agricultural Organization. Without topsoil, the Earth's ability to filter water, absorb carbon, and feed people plunges. Not only that, but the food that we do grow will probably be lower in vital nutrients. So our collective future of how we produce, harvest, and grow our food has to change. We don't need to mass produce food that we know will end up in the landfill, but build a seamless system so that we have the ability to feed the 99% in perpetuity. We also have to improve our health by ensuring our food is properly ripened, removing all chemicals from our food chain. This will stop our current food chain from killing us.